This is Travis Martin, and you are now listening to Line for Line Podcast.
Waiting line for line, they keep doing numbers. I gave them the game, trust we lit for the summer. Got doctors and artists and athletic speakers. Come learn from my come up, I'm better than people. I'm in love with the grind, I'm in love with the culture. Do this for the fam, do this for Kenosha. You know I got you, Kenosha. If you got the vision, then come a little closer. Let's get it together, line for line with the soldiers. I'm in love with the grind, I'm in love with the culture.
All right, just like that, we're back on another episode of Line for Line. I have a phenom in the building. The next thing to happen since Jordan sneakers, we have the 12-year-old phenom. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the world, sir.
I'm Travis Martin. I'm 12 years old. I play basketball for Washington.
Yes, sir. And who do we have with you today? Is this your security guard?
No, it's my dad.
All right, go ahead.
I'm his bodyguard.
There you go.
Travis is my son. We're excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
No worries. Kenosha is who I do this for.
Yeah.
So before we get ready to get started, just go ahead and tell people just a little bit about you, sir.
I've played basketball for about 4 years, I think, going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really take it serious, but I'm starting to take it serious now for like the past 2 years.
Nice.
And I've just gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So I just travel around the country now playing basketball.
Yes, sir. Who was it that put the basketball in your hand for the first time?
Him and my grandpa.
Oh, really?
Because he wasn't really a basketball person, but my grandpa really was.
Oh, really? So, obviously, with you being dad, I'm pretty sure you're a little bit older than me, so you probably remember the Jordan era and everything like that as well, too. Is that how you transitioned it to your son, or what was it that made you say, I think he should pick up basketball?
Yeah, well, really, we supported his basketball, the love for basketball, but really his coach, Coach Marcus Hill, he was a football player. Travis was really born with a football in his hand.
Oh, really?
He was been playing tackle football since he was 4, turning 5. And he played for Marcus Hill, and Marcus Hill said, hey, man, you're pretty athletic. Why don't you, come check out my basketball team I'm putting together, see if you like it. And he's like, well, I've never played basketball.
Oh, wow.
And this was when I think he was
Like 7.
8. I think you were 8. And he went, tried out, and Marcus was like, yeah, we'd love to have him. So that's kind of how he started with the basketball. He was terrible.
Really?
He was terrible.
I get fouled out every
He
game.
fouled out every game the first year. Yep. Matter of fact, my wife's friend Catrice had a shirt made for him it said
Catrice Gordon?
Yeah, Catrice.
My guy Dre's mom.
Yep,
Yeah.
Good family.
Very good.
But she made a shirt for him that said the Foul King.
The
actually.
Foul King?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep, because he fouled out of like every game the first year.
Oh, my God. So what was the most natural part of picking up this new hobby/sport and getting good at it like you are now?
I don't even know. I just love it now. It's just so fun and stuff to play.
Yeah. As a parent, how much dedication and time do you find yourself investing into this for your son to do something that he loves?
We have a rule in our house with all 3 of my kids. My wife and I give you what you give us, or what you put into it. So if you give 110%, we're going to provide you with 110%, the tools and what you need to be successful doing it. So if you're out there dogging it, not taking it serious, maybe training once a week, well, don't expect us to do a whole lot. Travis is in the gym minimum 5 days a week, a lot of times 7 days a week.
Oh, wow.
Matter of fact, for a while there, we went to Chicago for about a year and a half. We left Kenosha. We stayed in Kenosha, but we left Kenosha, went to Illinois, and he trained like 5 days a week religiously for about a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
And that's where he really started to excel. I mean, there were some guys around here that helped him, definitely brought him like to the next level that he needed to, get to take it a little more serious. And then some stuff happened here in town, and he started getting better, and people kind of frowned. I don't know if they frowned. They didn't really support him. You know what I mean? Because he was, like I said, when he first started, he was terrible, and some kids or whatever talked trash to him. And Travis is the type of kid where if you tell him he can't do something, or he's terrible at something, now he's got something to prove, to himself. And basically that's what happened. Before we went to Illinois and trained like that, he took a basketball. One of the kids was like, "Man, you can't handle the ball. You're trash. You got no ball handling skills." He dribbled the ball in the house for a year straight every day. Drove all of us crazy in the house. Drove us nuts. and he started, getting better at it. And I'm like, wow, he's taking it pretty serious. So, what can we do to help him out a little bit, And it just kind of took off from there, And now we're back doing some stuff around Kenosha for about, the past, 6 months or something.
Yeah.
And he works with Coach JC.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is. And then there's a guy out of Michigan, Josh Dudley. They call him Church Boy.
Oh my gosh, from Michigan? You guys go to Michigan, or he comes?
Yeah,
from
we
Michigan?
go there. He comes here. Last couple weeks, he was up here for a few days, and then he flies back home. So yeah, I mean, kind of back to your question. As far as long as he's putting in the effort and the time, we provide him with whatever is needed to be successful at it,
Yes, sir.
Nothing's given. It's all earned. You know, like I pick him up from school. Well, now he's got basketball practice 5 days a week. But before basketball practice, I pick him up and he was like, "What do we got going on today, Dad? Where we going? It's never like, some kids you gotta drag them into doing stuff. You're like, man, you better get there with him. I don't ever have to tell him, hey, you got to go train for X amount of hours today or that never.
He just wants to do it.
Yep.
So just tell us a little about the school that you go to now, Washington Middle School. What grade is it that you're in now?
I'm in 6th. I like it there. We're 5-0, only undefeated team in Kenosha.
Oh, wow.
But, still, everyone's out to get us now.
Yeah.
Because we're the only undefeated team.
So just tell us a little bit about the competition, just how it comes so natural for you to dominate. I saw the highlight that you sent me. Was that the one where you dropped 20 points that game?
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about how it comes so easy for you.
Well, it's just because I'm so used to playing with, national kids, ranked kids in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So, just playing out here in Kenosha, it's a lot
Uh-oh.
easier and, yeah.
Yeah. So this is news to me because obviously I was there to film my guy. So when you told me, hey, you're for Line Flying, I know what that is. I'm sitting there thinking you're in 8th grade, but it's now just not registered with me. You're only in 6th grade and you're dropping 20 points per game. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And you're 5-0 with how many more games left?
7.
7.
Oh my gosh. And do they do playoffs for middle school or anything like that?
For 8th.
Only for
Only for
varsity.
8th? So then once your season's done, you're done?
It's whoever has the highest
The best record.
If you have the same record, it just goes by points.
Really? Do you have the opportunity to maybe move up to the 7th grade team or the 8th grade team, or you just have to stay?
He's got to stay there now. 6th graders can't move up. Next year, if there's not enough 8th graders, 6th graders can move up. The middle school basketball program for KUSD is really super lopsided. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of rules that are terrible. To me, it should be like high school. Grade doesn't really matter. It's based off skill especially because they cut kids. It'd be different if
you get cut.
Yeah, in middle school basketball, kids get cut. So I could understand the rules kind of being the way they are if everybody was able to play. There was no cuts made. But you have a tryout. I think you try out for 2 days, and then they actually make cuts. Mm-hmm. Well, why are you going to make cuts if a 6th grader is good enough to play on 8th grade or varsity? Why can't he play, Mm-hmm. And a lot of schools don't even allow 6th graders to play. Washington and Lincoln
And Bullen.
I think, are the only ones that allow it.
So Lance, they don't have 6th grade?
Mahone, no.
Because Mahone and Lance have way too many kids to try out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Especially Mahone. There's 70 kids.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. So just tell us a little bit about the type of player you are once you do hit the court. What is it that you see when you're out there making your poetry?
My IQ is just above everyone else's on the court. Mm-hmm. And I can shoot good, and they just all sag off of me. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. And I just get buckets.
Yeah. Get buckets. Who are some of your idols that are at the professional level that you look up to?
Kyrie Irving, definitely.
Oh my gosh, his handles. He has the ball on a string just constantly,
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie, Giannis, and KD.
Wow, 2 big men who could shoot the ball. Well, Giannis can shoot a little bit, but KD can definitely shoot the ball way better at a more efficient rate as well, too. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you do plan to work on for your game once the season's over in 7 games?
I'm just going to be in the gym every day probably.
Mm-hmm. And what gym is it that you go to?
I might go out of Michigan, the Recplex, to go work with JC. Wherever I can find a gym.
That's so crazy. I'm just still so taken back by you're only in 6th grade and just your character right now as a 6th grader is you're destined to be something great, you know. And I thought I heard in a video they were saying overrated. How does all that come about? What is it about that? I didn't know they cheer and talk like that in middle school.
I don't even know. I don't even know a lot of those kids.
Yeah. Does it make you go that much harder while you're on the court and you hear that?
It just fuels me more.
Yeah.
The more stuff they do, just the more it is for them.
Nice. Now, what's your interactions like with your teammates? Like, let's say you guys are down by a couple points. What are your interactions with your teammates?
I'm kind of like the team captain in a way. Like, cause I have to tell like everyone what to do and stuff like that, and like, you know, I like control the offense and stuff. So if we're down by a couple points, I just gotta tell them to relax and stuff. And like if they're pressing us, they just gotta slow down.
Yes, sir. Now, question for you, Dad. When was it? Would you say you said, "Yep, this kid has it"? Around what time was it when you knew that he had it in him?
Well, when he sat home for a year and dribbled nonstop every day for a year, I'm like, man, this kid really loves basketball. And how you brought up earlier about like the Jordan era. Well, in Kenosha, there's a lot of heart, but not a lot. Like I don't see kids leaving it all on the court like he does. And I'm not boasting him up or bragging, but he has a lot of heart. When we were in a game a couple years ago, the kid was inbounding the ball, and he got warned by the ref because he was too close. So he put his hands behind his back and screamed as loud as he could in the kid's face. I knew right then and there, I'm like, he's got the heart of a lion, man. He wants to win, you know? And that's kind of the whole dribbling for the year thing, and then just the way he plays. He plays like that era from the Jordan era. You know, I always say, like, parents come up to me in the game and they'll kind of look at me disgusted, or they'll be like, ain't you going to say something to him? I'm like, no, you say something to him. You know, like, I'm not going to take the heart out of him. Like, when he's on the court, there's a lot of kids that he's friends with that he probably lost, you know, isn't maybe friends with them anymore because he's played against them. And it's nothing personal. That's just how he is on the court. And I'm never going to take that away from him. Like the trash talking, like he'll talk trash out there. He'll you know, kind of chest bump somebody, or you know, he gets into it, and like a lot of parents frown on that, and I love it. To be honest with you, like I'll never tell him, hey, you can't do that, or you know, don't do that. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna let it get out of hand, but he doesn't really get out of hand. He'll just he'll talk some crap and or do whatever, you know, and keep moving. But he plays different, you know. He's aggressive on offense. He used to be super aggressive on defense, and then when he gained a little bit of an offense, I tell him his defense is lacking. but he plays aggressive, and I like it, you know. That's the basketball I remember watching growing up as a kid.
Nice.
You know?
Nice. This question for you here, sir, this will be a two-part question. If there's one thing that you can improve by yourself individually, and one thing that you say your team could improve on, what would those things be?
Myself be like, I don't even know. I gotta work on a lot of things. I think all of it.
How about lateral speed?
Yeah, I gotta work on defense a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my team, we just gotta have more patience because we play too fast. Like it's all north. Like we just go to the basket every time. We gotta take it back out and stuff. Like when we're getting pressed, we're just going. We gotta swing it to get past the press.
Exactly. All right. And as you, as a father, seeing that from obviously being the viewpoint in the stands, what would you say that your son could work on as well?
Definitely speed. Speed and agility. I'm actually thinking about signing him up for a yoga class. He's not flexible at all.
Oh, no.
His flexibility is terrible. And he needs to get quicker, especially laterally. That's what he needs to work on. And always just sharpen everything. You know what I mean? Work on everything. But like I would say speed and agility would be the two biggest things that he needs to keep definitely working at, a little extra on them things. And then as far as his team, they may not be the most skilled group of kids, but all the middle school teams that I've watched them all now. They play with some passion, man. They are scrappy. I would say there's a couple teams out there that like I feel they have more skill than us. Travis on his team is probably the only like really super skilled player. But there's a couple other middle school teams that have like maybe 2 skilled players.
Oh wow.
But they just don't have that dog in them like the Washington team. They are really scrappy, man. They play some good D.
We win because our defense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Our press, not a lot of people get past it. We get like at least 10 steals a game off of that.
So
Just
like
that
they,
press alone.
as far as their heart, whatever, like they got that going from. The chemistry's awesome, but what they need to work on is I agree with him. Sometimes when a kid gets a steal or a ball, he's running before he's dribbling, or he's maybe he'll carry the ball because he's like so excited he got the ball. Sometimes you gotta just slow down and see the court a little bit, and that'll come, I think, with more games that they play. But yeah, other than that, man, they're a scrappy bunch.
Yes, sir.
They play a lot of, like, honestly, the 7th grade team really gets, because they sit and watch the varsity team, the 8th grade team play. I mean, he's out there. He made up a cheer. He came to Washington with a cheer, and he's got the whole bench cheering, doing a cheer. He's get the crowd going.
Yeah.
And the 8th grade team don't do that as much. I don't feel like the 8th grade team doesn't have that chemistry and that passion that I feel like the 7th grade team does. But these guys get they get going. They cheered their teammates on in the game, and then for the varsity team, they cheer them on. You try to get them amped up.
Yes, sir.
Travis is a good leader. Sometimes he'll get a little frustrated, but for the most part, he's a pretty good leader. And he's not selfish either. He's not a ball hog. He tries to put his teammates in a position to help him help them, And a lot of times kids don't understand that, And then once he starts kind of doing what he does, then they understand it.
Yeah.
You didn't tell him what your nickname was either.
Everyone calls me Baby Luca.
Yeah.
Baby Luca?
We were in a tournament in Ohio. Well, actually, Mimi started calling you Little Luca, Mimi and Blackie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Then
it was just kind of a local thing. And then we were at a tournament in Ohio. We were down by, I think, like 20.
No, we were down by like 30, I think. And I had scored like 15 in a row. Then I made a kid fall and shot a 3, and then I scored again.
Are you serious?
And then like the whole crowd was going, and then we only lost by like 5, I think.
I think we ended up losing the game by 3 or 4 or something. But there was some parents on the other team in Ohio. They were like, "Who is Luka Doncic's parents? Where are his parents?" And I knew they were talking about him. And then I was like, "That's my kid." And they're like, "Man, that's baby Luka." And it just kind of, it just stuck. Matter of fact, his traveling team that he plays for now, Ballers for Scholars, are out of Indianapolis. The whole probably 3 or 4 months, the first 3 or 4 months we played with them, they didn't even know his name was Travis. The whole team, the coach, everybody called him Luka.
Really?
He stayed with them over this past summer for like a month and a half.
Uh-huh.
They don't call him Travis. His name is Luka.
Oh, wow. As a parent, how rewarding is that to see the hard work that you contributed to start to pay off?
Oh, it's very rewarding.
At such a young, early age, because at 6th grade, too, and this is the hype that he's getting compared to Luka. How does that feel?
It's very rewarding. But he puts, I mean, there's nobody, and there's no disrespect to any other kid around. I don't know too many kids that put in the time and work that he puts in. So, I don't want to say he deserves it, but he definitely earns it, He puts the time in, man. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
His mother and I are very proud of him. We have a lot of fun with it, man.
Yes, sir. That being said, before you're ready to close out, is there anyone that you would like to shout out there, maybe your friends, coaches who've helped you along the way, people who've just given you good advice?
Yeah, Mimi, he definitely has helped me a lot because that was like the first trainer I ever had, and he like just got my handles good and like all that stuff like up to like where I can actually like play with like kids that are actually pretty good. And then him, Andre White, he's kind of one of my trainers. And
you've been with Andre off and on probably the longest.
I've been with him for like 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Not that long.
It's been long.
Probably like 5.
No, because remember when Jordan went?
Yeah, but it wasn't, you didn't take it really serious then.
Well, yeah, I didn't really take it serious because I wasn't really a basketball player at that time. Him and my grandpa, too, because he tells me a lot of stuff I should do to get better and stuff, yeah.
Nice. So NBA, just be on the lookout. NCAA, just be on the lookout for this kid right here. And just like that, we wrapped up an amazing episode of Line for Line.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.